Welcome to Two-A-Days. It's Tuesday. We are getting ever closer to the NFL season starting. Week 2 of the preseason officially wrapped last night with the Colts and Ravens game. I watched about 5 minutes of it when Lamar Jackson came in just to see how he's developing. Interestingly enough, that was the hot topic out of the game. Aside from Andrew Luck's lackluster performance against the first-team Ravens, people were ready to sell on the Lamar Jackson experiment after a Hall of Fame game and Week 1 and Week 2 of preseason, which I find pretty ridiculous. Granted, if he were lighting the world on fire, this whole video podcast we do, I would have spent my 5 minutes just glowing about how Lamar Jackson is going to be the next greatest thing. But evaluating him on the basis of the type of game plan that they've called, I don't think is particularly fair. They've called a very, very vanilla offense. He has been asked to do kind of things that are in no way complementary to his skill set and his, the things that he's best at. I think we're going to see a much more complete and in the event that he has an opportunity to compete in real game situations this season, I think we're going to see a totally different player. It feels like we're rewatching. We're Groundhog Day with Deshaun Watson last year. Deshaun Watson couldn't beat Tom Savage out in the preseason last year for the Texans. He had a very similar sort of performance in the preseason. On the flip side of that, Mitch Trubisky lit the world on fire in the preseason, and we all saw how that played out in the regular season. So
yeah, the Browns went undefeated last preseason. So preseason results aren't all they cracked up to be.
And it was
the only reason you should be excited about a result from the preseason is if you bet on it. So yeah, let's calm down. I saw a couple tweets, including one from our friend Suma, as far as it's just this isn't. It is often hard to tell, good or bad. But they're not running the offense they're going to run during the season. It was a good point made by Suma and others as far as the Watson thing. They didn't run the offense in the preseason that they wanted to, that they needed to run with him to make him a successful player in the NFL. And, once they got around to running to his strengths in the regular season, you saw what happened. He's a good player. So wait and see. It's not like he's going to start. Some crazy things would have had to happen for him to start anyway. It'll be Flacco's team to start. Here's just hoping either Flacco struggles or he finds his way into a game late and does something magical. And they do switch to him. I'd love to see Lamar play, but it's not looking promising. And, on the other side of the ball, they just lost a player. So it's not maybe I'm losing some of my Ravens steam that I had all summer, but Jimmy Smith, 4 games for personal conduct policy, and I clicked on 10 different articles to get the details on this, and it wasn't super forthcoming, but it's a baby mama accusing him of some domestic stuff, and then also doing drugs in front of the kids. I think it sounded like. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good look. The Ravens came out and said already, we're not going to cut him for this. He's taking full responsibility. He apologized to the ex-girlfriend or whatever it was, and the league and the team and his teammates and everything. So it is not. It's a mixed bag of teams that don't miss. I think it's Bengals, Broncos, Steelers, and Buffalo. So. Some good receivers in there. AJ Green, the duo you got in Denver. You've got everything that they can throw at you from Pittsburgh, and then Buffalo. I guess I'm not as worried about, but it's going to be tough missing him. He's a big part of the defense. Always sucks to lose a starter for 4 games. Ask the Steelers about losing Le'Veon Bell every other year. It's not great. Bad situation for him. Hopefully he comes back and keeps his nose clean, and they can eke out a 2-2 or 3-1 stretch there without him.
Yeah, Jimmy Smith is a pretty good player.
Yeah.
That was too bad. Obviously it's disappointing to see these situations play out. Period. And then on top of that, when it's a team you're high on, and a player they need. It's going to be tough. I guess you still overall buying the Ravens as a potential team to make the playoffs this year?
Definitely make the playoffs, and then if there's any sort of regression from the Steelers, if they end up down at the 9-10 win mark, I think there's still a good chance for the Ravens to possibly snipe the division. I'm not high on the Steelers just based on their defense. It's going to be one of those teams that you're going to see some 53s, 54s if they play a team with a good offense, because great offense, horseshit defense. There's going to be some big totals when they like that. And Steelers Patriots, it's going to be a big one.
Steelers Ravens was a big one. Steelers Packers was a big score. The Steelers defense couldn't stop anyone last year. Steelers Jaguars in the playoffs at home. Yeah, they gave them 45 freaking points. Granted, some of those were defensive scores.
8-point game. Yeah.
PU. So yeah, I mean, like, let's just kind of putting a finer point on the hopes of the Ravens. They get Marshall Yanda back. He solidifies a really important part of their line in the passing game and the running game. Alex Collins looks absolutely bananas. You know, we were going to talk about fantasy football tonight. Is Alex Collins kind of a low-key guy that wins you your fantasy league this year? Maybe. Haven't
studied yet. I don't have a draft until next week, so
okay. Well, we're going to get our study on tonight.
We're going to have a good fantasy talk.
Guy looks like a legit weapon in the running game.
No, I like him. I'm so bad at. Man, you just never know what coaches are going to do with guys as far as workloads. It seems like I'm so bad at reading that sometimes.
Yeah,
so I don't love season-long props for players. I'm just so bad at them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll find somebody to give us some good insight on that sort of thing tonight. How about that?
Perfect. Yeah, like you said, we're recording tonight. We're going to be doing a kind of just a general fantasy DFS player prop, that sort of thing. Kind of an individual player NFL pod, and then something. We'll be in Vegas on Friday, and we have not 100% cooked up what's going to happen, but something's going to happen. It might even be live from the desert. So details to follow. So yeah, we will. Something will be up tonight, and as always, a couple articles up on the website, deepdivemedia.co. Whale, you put something up as far as power numbers, which is a great read. I got my season win totals piece up. I'll be following that up with some other futures and be betting yet this stuff that I've already bet and will be betting. We're going to have a piece up about alt totals. So a lot of content up at the website. Check it out. And with that, we'll anything else, Whale? We'll catch you tomorrow.
You got it all, man.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks, and I'll talk to you in a little bit when we podcast. Peace.